What's up, guys? It's Jacques Slade, and today, or actually tonight, it's actually like about 2 o'clock in the morning, but I wanted to get this video done to give you guys an update on everything that happened today at the Jordan Remastered event. It was more of like a round table with just a few select people of the media, and I was chosen to be a part of that event, and I want to give you all of the information that I can. So just to first start things off, the Remastered is basically a remaster of all of the Jordan retro product. It doesn't apply to the new product, obviously, because that stuff is being produced at the quality, or at the best quality that it is right now. And during the roundtable, we got to sit with 3 people from Jordan brand. Actually, it was 4 people. The communications director was there as well. But we got to meet with 3 people that are part of the process of making the shoes and the business of making the retro shoes. So I have their names right here. First up was Dave Schechter, who is the VP of Category of Footwear Lead. Then we have Michael Hochdorfer, who is the Footwear Engineering Director, and Jeff Atienza, who is the Footwear Product Line Manager. Now, just to give you a brief explanation about their positions. So Dave Schechter, he's the VP of VP Category Footwear Lead. So basically, his job is to find out what product is going to release when. So that's kind of basically what his job is, to say, hey guys, this is the product we need to focus on for spring 2015. Let's make the best product out of there. Now, the next person, Michael Hochdorfer, who is the Footwear Engineering Director, he is the guy that helps manufacture or helps the engineering of the actual product, even like for retro product, making sure that it looks as close as possible to the original products, the materials and things like that. And then Jeff Atienza helps select product and the colorways and things like that. He is called a product line manager, which basically helps the product that comes down the line. He helps manage that process. So to give you a recap of the event, we met at this really cool white space. It was like all white room, and then they gave us white gloves at the table to kind of give us an idea of what the factory workers who work on the product in China, what they actually wear when they're working on the product to prevent the shoes from getting dirty or from getting scuffed up or getting grease from your hands on the shoes. You'd be surprised how much dirt and grease can be on your hands, especially when you're working in an assembly line. And speaking of an assembly line, they showed us the dies and the pieces that they use to actually cut the shoes. Now, for the remastered product, they basically remade these pieces as close as possible to the originals. Jeff Atienza went and met with the people from Nike DNA, which has all of like the original pieces, and looked at those, and they made the remastered product based off of those. And speaking of the originals, Jordan and Tinker actually were part of the process of the remastered collection. We shouldn't even call it a collection, because everything from spring 2015 on, I believe, is going to be part of the remastered collection. Or I keep calling it collection. Part of the remastered retro line. I should call it remastered retro, not remastered collection. Jordan, something that Dave was telling us was that Jordan said that he wanted the product to be back like the original product, but he didn't want it to be better. He didn't want it to be like a luxury version of the product. He wanted to keep it true to the original because that's what he played in. So I just thought that was really cool that Jordan is involved so much that he's like, hey, I like what you guys are doing as far as remastering the product, but let's not take it to a luxury feel. Let's just take it back to where it was when I wore it, or as close as possible to where it was when I wore it. And Dave also let us know, in regards to being as close as possible to the original product, that the tanneries are the companies that make the leather and that make the pieces that go on to the shoes are not the same factories and not the same tanneries that there was when the product originally started. So the feel and the product that they get now is different. So as far as the leather, like those companies that made the leathers for the shoes back when there was the Jordan 1s and the 2s and the 3s and all of those companies make leather in a different way now. And so you're not going to get exactly the same product. So for people out there that want it to be exactly the same, it's not going to be exactly the same. It's definitely going to be as close as possible to the original. And that's something that they stress, that it's going to be as close as possible to the original. And sometimes it'll be better, but sometimes it won't be exactly as is the original. So that's just something to keep note, because I know a lot of people were concerned about that. Now, in the roundtable, they talked to us about how the product is made, how that they're retraining the workers so that the workers can basically learn how to make the product again. And when they're making that actual shoe, there's images of Jordan up on the wall performing in the shoe, which I thought was pretty cool, kind of inspiring to be making this product and see the genesis of that product like around you. I think it helps like instill a spirit of ownership when you're making the product, because like that's the guy that you're making this for. You see him around you, like these images of Jordan and pictures and stuff like that. Another thing that they mentioned is that they had to like retrain the workers, basically new workers, on making the product. They had to retrain them how to make the product in a way that was true to the originals. They're taking a lot of the process and they're automating some of the process, but some of it is going to be handcrafted. So the entire shoe is not going to be handcrafted. Some of it's going to be automated. And they said they pick the station, so to speak, that would be automated. So that would allow people other times that are hand stitching things, so that they can focus on the stitching, or they can focus on making sure that there's no glue or cement, is what they called it, that there's no cement on the shoes when you get the shoes in the box, that the paint isn't chipping, and even down to the paint was something that just really blew my mind, that how they're actually looking for the right kind of paint. I was taking pictures of the 10, or maybe it was the 4, and Jeff came over to me when I was taking a picture, and he was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, like, this is not the final, that these are samples, and that this blue is not the blue that's going to ultimately be used. We're still trying to make sure we can match the blue as soon as possible. This one's a little bit more glossy." So it kind of spoke to how detailed that Jordan brand is being when it comes to remastering these shoes, down to just the gloss on the paint. They're making sure that it's as similar as possible to the original version. So that kind of just blew my mind, and I think it helps everyone understand how detailed they're being when they're remastering this product and how seriously they're taking that. Dave was saying that when he was hired, that he actually told Michael that he wanted to focus on the retro product and bringing it up to snuff, because he heard and he saw the comments that people were talking about the quality of the shoes. And it's good for you guys as sneakerheads, I think all of us that like to buy shoes. That's a good point, that Nike and Jordan, that these big companies are actually listening to you and listening to the stuff that you have to say. And just getting back on track. I'm sorry, I know I'm all over the place, but I'm just telling you stuff as I think about it. As far as Jordan retros go, everything after spring 2015 is going to be remastered retro products. So as they start making product after spring 2015, it'll be remastered. So it'll be made in the new molds. It'll be created with, you know, that handcrafted feel, and with the better leathers, the small, softer leathers and things like that. So everything after that is going to be remastered. So that's something to look forward to. And regarding pricing, pricing is going to jump 10 to 15% from what it is now for the remastered project, just because it takes longer. Obviously, they're using better materials and things like that. That leads to a conversation about, well, what are we purchasing now? And basically, Jordan Brand said that they were doing the best that they could at the moment, right now, and now they're looking to do better, and that's where the remastered product comes into line. And speaking of remastered, something that I also often see online is a lot of people talking about their J's creasing. Well, I actually heard this before from Brett Golliff, who is a designer. You guys should definitely follow him over on Twitter. It's B Golliff. He was telling me that as you get with better and softer leathers, that the shoes are actually going to crease. They're supposed to crease. That's what happens when you have good leather. And people were complaining about it, and Jordan Brand tried to create product that didn't crease as much because people were complaining about it. But when you do that, you actually decrease the quality in the leather, if that makes any sense. So if you don't want it to crease, then it's not going to be a soft and supple leather. That's just part of how real good quality leather works. It's going to crease. They showed us like the process of making the shoes, how the leather has like this thin backing to it, and like they're not making it super thick because they want you to be able to feel the leather, and they're staying as true as possible to these are basically trying to stay as true as possible to the original designs, from the shape to to like the angles, the stitching, and it's really down to every little detail, which I found to be really impressive, and I was really happy that Jordan Brand is taking that perspective. Some bad news that came out of the roundtable was that the Air Jordan 3 is going to be going away for the foreseeable future. Air Jordan 3 is definitely one of my favorite shoes, but basically they were saying that they're going to put the shoe back in the vault, that they wanted to reset Tinker's original shoe with Jordan. So that is kind of bad news if you're a fan of the Jordan 3 like I am. So it was definitely bad news for me. You know, the Jordan 3, they have done a lot of Jordan 3 colorways. So hopefully when they bring it back, obviously it'll be remastered, but they do something like the black cement 3 or something, or the white cement. So it would just be really crazy to see those remastered and like of high quality. Like I would buy those without question. Love the 3s. Oh, as for the product that they're going to remaster, so it's going to be a mix of shoes. So they're trying to create new retros, they're going to remaster some retros, and they're going to remaster originals. So you'll see a big mix of colorways as far as the remastered product goes, because it's going to be telling more stories. Something that they mentioned is that there were hundreds of stories about Jordan that haven't been told, and they still want to tell those stories through footwear. So they'll be creating new product, and something that Dave actually said was that they wanted the product to be as basically they want to create product now that will retro in 10 to 15 years. So they want to create something that's good enough now, that tells a good enough story about Jordan, that 10 years, 15 years from now, people will be asking for a retro of that product. And I thought that was really cool to think about all the stories of Jordan directly from Jordan Brand, from Jordan himself, that they're saying that are stories that are just haven't been told. Like we've only highlighted the big things in Jordan's career, which is pretty amazing to me, because I'm sure there's some really small, intimate details about Jordan that they haven't told yet, and it'd be great to tie some of those stories to footwear. So that's basically a big overview of what happened. And I know this video is super long, but I wanted to get out as much as I can. I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I definitely wanted to get out as much information about the remaster process as I could to you guys. Like Mike, the guy that's the footwear engineer, like he has an actual degree in making footwear, and he's from Germany, and he went to school for making shoes, and he part of that, you know, he came back to Nike directly to create this remastered retro product, because they wanted something quality that came from a lot of the techniques and the styles that they're using to create the remastered product is brought over from dress shoes, and like high quality dress shoes. So it's definitely going to be a different look. I got to touch them personally, and they feel different from anything that you've seen in the last 5 or 10 years. So I think people, when they actually get their hands on them in the spring, they'll immediately notice the difference in the shoes. So I'm gonna quit rambling. If you haven't already, why don't you guys go over to my Twitter channel, because I kind of live tweeted the entire event and what was going on at the event, so you can see a lot of that on my Twitter channel. Also, obviously posted some stuff over on Instagram. And just because I got a ton of pictures, I'm gonna include some in a Dropbox link down below, so you can click that and you can use those pictures as you wish. Just feel free to mention me whenever you use them. Yeah, so thanks guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed everything. If you haven't already, why don't you hit that subscribe button? That way you know whenever something awesome is happening right here on this channel. I am Jacques Slade. This is like, I guess I want to call it Today in Sneaks, but just kind of a recap of the Jordan Remastered collection. All right guys, I will see you soon. Peace. What's up guys, we're here at the launch of the CP3.VIII here in New York City at a space called Number 5. Chris Paul was here and talked about his shoe. First look at the shoe, just more of an aesthetic perspective. It looks a little more futuristic on the toe and the heel.